Hello, good afternoon. I'm Ellie. I'm normally an occupational therapist at Coleridge Road in the learning disability team, but just for today, I'm going to be reading the news. We know that everyone's talking about the news at the moment, but it can be quite difficult to understand because they use a lot of big words and they talk really quickly. So, a few times a week, what we're going to do is read the news in a way that's much easier to understand. So, firstly, let's talk about coronavirus because that's the top story on every news channel at the moment, of course, because we're all staying at home. Now, at the moment, there are 190,584 confirmed cases of coronavirus. That means that many people have the virus. And sadly, 288 people died yesterday in hospitals or in care homes. I know that sounds like a big number, and it is really scary and, of course, very sad. But the thing to remember is that number has gone down a lot from what it was a couple of weeks ago. And as long as that number keeps going down, we're moving in the right direction. The big thing that the government talked about yesterday is that they're trying a new app that you have on your smartphone. And what this app does is you keep it in your pocket on the phone, and it tells you whether you've been near anybody that has coronavirus. So you put in every day whether you have coronavirus or not, and every time you walk past somebody that does have coronavirus, the app will tell you you've been in contact with someone with coronavirus, and it will tell you whether or not you need to stay at home. So they're trying that on the Isle of Wight. So we don't need to worry about it yet here in Waltham Forest. They're trying it out on the Isle of Wight because it's a small little island and they can see really well whether it works or not. Some people have said they're worried about privacy, so they're worried about their own information being taken by this app. And that's a very normal thing to worry about. The NHS, who developed it, they've said that you can only use the first part of your postcode. So that might be E17, for example, unless you tell them that they can use more information. So that's what they're saying. It's up to you how much information you give them. Now, most people think that we'll hear something this week about when the lockdown will end, and the government has to review this on Thursday. That's the law, that they have to look at it on Thursday. The doctors and the scientists will sit down and look at all the evidence, and they'll see what they think about whether we can end the lockdown or not. And then Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, will tell us more about that on Sunday. Keir Starmer, he's the leader of the Labour Party, who's the other party in the Parliament. He wants the Prime Minister to talk to the trade unions about this, and they're groups of people that look after all of the workers in Britain. And what he wants is for both sides of the government to agree on whether we can lift the lockdown or not. So we'll see what happens with that, but we'll hear more about that later in the week on Thursday and then on Sunday. Now, I thought we'd talk a bit about what's on TV, just for something a little bit different from coronavirus, because that's what we hear about at the moment. So what was in the news about TV? There was a lot about Coronation Street. Lots of people are talking about that at the moment because there was quite a difficult and sad story on there about domestic abuse. One of the characters, called Jeff, had been abusive to a character called Yasmin. He was calling her names, he stopped her seeing her friends and family, and he made fun of her. So it was really difficult. It wasn't nice for Yasmin, and it wasn't nice for any of her friends either. If this is something that's happening to you and you need help, you can call us here at the Learning Disability team, or you can call the police on 999 and talk to them. It's one of those storylines that I know it can be upsetting to think about, but lots of people have watched that show and they've then asked for help in their own situations at home after seeing it on TV. So it is really important that we talk about this and that it is shown on TV. On ITV today, there's a show about people in lockdown. It's called Isolation Stories, and it looks at people who are in lockdown just like us. It looks at the problems they're having and also the fun times that they might be having. So that's something you might like to watch that might be a little bit interesting, that's about coronavirus. Now, for something a bit more relaxing, what some people are doing is every night at 6:50 p.m, 10 to 7, there's a bedtime story that gets read on CBeebies. Now, you don't have to be a child to watch that, and you definitely don't have to go to bed at 7 o'clock. But sometimes just hearing a story can be really relaxing, however old you are. And I'll tell you what, I'm 30 and I still listen to the bedtime stories sometimes because they're relaxing. It's a scary time at the moment, and it's okay to look after yourself and to relax in whatever way is best for you. And just finally, we'll have a look at the weather. It will be sunny this week, which is really nice. The hottest that it will be is 24 degrees, and the coldest will be 12 degrees, so still pretty warm. Now, even though the weather's nice, obviously we have to make sure to stay at home, but make sure that if you can go out for your walk, your daily exercise that we're allowed to take, do go out and get it, and make sure that you're getting in the sun, and put some sun cream on first, obviously. Now, if you're shielding, if you have a letter from the government telling you to stay at home, unfortunately that means you can't go out for your walk, but we can still open up all the windows, try and get the sun in, and just try and enjoy that nice weather. Now, I know this is a scary time at the moment. It's really scary for everyone, but just remember, this won't be forever, and hopefully we'll see each other again in person soon. Look after yourselves and your family. Bye for now.